Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, I left the last whiteboard lesson about karma. And I basically said just follow the seven deadly sins, don't do them, and you'll keep yourself in good karma, or, how to improve your karma. So, just as a reminder, the seven deadly sins are envy, greed, lust, pride, wrath, gluttony, or sloth. All right. So as long as you avoid those, you will avoid incurring karma for your bad karma for yourself, and you'll actually repair your karma. We could change the word karma for consequences. I feel like to me, karma is just slang for consequences. It's what you've done comes back boomerangs back at you. You're paying the invoice on something you did or did not do. So, how do you know which of those seven deadly sins are blocking you or keeping you from improving your karma? Because whether you came down here with a soul contract or you've created some kind of karma or consequence, either way, you need to fix it. So get over oh, is it my soul contract? Is it, am I meant to do this? Who cares? It doesn't matter. Either way, you have to fix it, right? So, an easy way to find out where your block is, or which of the seven deadly sins are most affecting your current karma, I find it very simple and easy to do a tarot layout. You don't have to do a tarot layout. You can actually even get a piece of paper and draw on envy, greed, lust, pride, wrath, gluttony, sloth. You can just write all those down yourself and roll a dice on them or something, like, right? I mean, it doesn't. You don't have to make it complicated. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do this. If you happen to have a deck of tarot cards, it's actually better if you have two. But if you have a deck, you could always just write out the different sins and then put your tarot cards on top, or oracle cards, or even just a deck of cards, and get the meanings for what those cards mean. So, for example, Five of Diamonds is Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is poverty and being an outsider. And so then, and you can look all of this up online. Again, you don't have to spend a lot of money. It is a reading I'm going to look into doing for people in the autumn. So if you're struggling with it by autumn and you still haven't figured out your own blocks and whatnot, I think I'm going to do it. And it'll be quite reasonably priced because it is a really quick reading for me to find out which. But don't go looking on the on the website for it. I said by autumn. We have a whole almost 6 months to go, okay? And I'm only thinking about it. So, anyways, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do mine. I know I've got some karma here I need to clean up, and so I'm going to show you how I do mine. Don't be surprised if there's lots here. I kid. All right, so the high priestess, which is the moon, is the moon energy. So in the Bible, they call them the seven deadly sins. You can also call them the planet energies, the energies of the planet. So why is the moon envy? Well, because the moon is illusions. And when you envy what somebody else has, it's an illusion. And it's also mirroring you, and that's what the moon does. Moon is just a mirror, and so you're mirroring that you want what that person has, and you're also thinking to yourself, it's an illusion that maybe what that person has is making them happy, or what that person has is creating something in their life that you don't have. So the moon is a great big mirror, and it's an illusion and the reason it's a mirror is because the moon only mirrors the sun's light. It doesn't have its own light, and it's an illusion because it doesn't um, uh, it doesn't have its own light. It's an illusion that it lights up at night. So that's why the moon is envy. Why is the high priestess the moon card? Well, number one, she has the moon on top of her head here. Also, the moon is secrets, things that happen at night in the moon shadows. Also, the moon is a little bit of lunacy. And envy, really, at the end of the day, is kind of lunacy. Um, it's kind of weird to envy other people, right? I mean, they all are, but the mostly envy because you don't. So maybe somebody has a big, beautiful house, and you envy them for having that big house. Well, you don't know how happy it is inside that house. You don't know what their mortgage payments are for that house, and perhaps they're spiraling into debt. You don't know maybe the upkeep on that house. Maybe it's full of termites. You don't know, and so you're envying an illusion. So that's why the moon is envy. Next one is Mercury, and Mercury is greed. Why? Because greed is Mercury is communications and e-commerce, and if you rip people off, you're being greedy. You can rip them off by lying to them about what they're buying. You can overcharge them. You can double charge them. You can take their money and not give them the goods that you promised. So that's why Mercury is the trickster energy. And when you're in your Mercury period, that's the most dangerous time of the year to be robbed, to be taken advantage of, to lose your money on any kind of gambling debt. And so that's the magician is Mercury. Then we get to the Empress, which is Venus. And it has the Venus sign right on it. And Venus, of course, is lust. That's being lusting for your neighbor's partner, lusting for your best friend's partner, overusing, hedonism, that kind of thing. So there it is for lust, Venus, and relationships. It mostly means, human interactions, but you can lust for other things, although we can attribute that more to gluttony. But you can lust for things. It almost falls in with envy and gluttony. Then the sun is pride, and this is, of course, ego. And yeah, and we just know why that's bad, to have a terrible ego. There's difference between self-confidence and ego. Ego is when you think you're better than everybody else. And when you think you're better than everyone else, well, that's when, fascism comes in, for example. So that's why pride, and it's interesting to me that the community that always talks about pride, they don't realize pride is a double-edged sword. And what's happened is they've actually flipped it from one thing to being, I'm a proud gay man and I'm coming out and I'm really proud to say that's a whole lot different than what they're doing now, that I'm, I have more power than you. I'm like, pride has now gone into ego for them. And why is the sun that? Well, because the sun, you want the spotlight on you, right? Okay, well, Mars, Mars is wrath, the wrath of Khan. And what's wrath? Wrath is revenge and actual physical assault on other people as well. You're just so angry. It's just that anger that you have, that anger that things just explode. And that's that Mars energy, that aggressive, it can get physical. It can get physical when you have a lot of wrath in you. Um, this is when you actually want to go out and hurt somebody. We all know why that's wrong. This is actually war. War. So then we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter. And this is gluttony because Jupiter is expansive. You want some things to expand. You want your bank account to expand. You want your businesses to expand, but all properly, right? You don't want it done with greed or wrath. You don't want to go steal somebody else's things, but you want things to expand. But here's the thing with Jupiter, it can also expand your waistline. It can also expand your debt. It can also expand your mess. can also expand your clutter. So gluttony, that's what gluttony is. Gluttony is too much food, too much, too many things, too much shopping, going into too much debt for things, and just buying things to buy them is gluttony. You just want you're insatiable with your purchasing, and you're cluttering your house, and so that's why gluttony. It's terrible on your health. It's terrible for your bank account. It just really doesn't do a lot for your life at all. So just remember that Jupiter can expand your waistline. um it's more than just expanding your bank account and uh your sales. Saturn is sloth, because Saturn, of course, slows things down. Saturn's the workhorse, burdens. And Saturn here is sloth. Sloth. And what happens when you stop moving? You seize up and die. And that's why Saturn's at the end here as well. And the world card here, the success, wrap everything up, ending, successful endings. But when you're talking about the seven deadly sins, it's sloth. It's ending something that something's not ready to end. It's being lazy. It's not getting things done, and boy, those invoices really pile up in a hell of a hurry. So that's sloth. All right, so now that I've explained how you would use these cards, and also as I explain them to you, I'm empowering the cards, what I want them to tell me. All right, so that's another reason but I've got a lot of new watchers lately, so I just thought, and also just a refresher if you have known this. All right, so I'm going to show you how I do mine so that you can learn how to do yours. So what are the strongest of the energies that are blocking me right now? Envy, greed, lust, pride, wrath, gluttony, and sloth. Which of those are my strongest blocks right now? My blocks to my positive karma, or my positive consequences. Where am I going wrong that I could turn some of these consequences around? Please make me aware of which ones are being a negative consequence, and which ones I need to concentrate on pulling it around. Okay, shall we begin? Dun 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 dun. I have a lot. I won't be surprised if a lot. I'll show you what happens if a lot shows up. So under envy, I've got the Seven of Pentacles, which means I'm envious of people who have squirreled away a lot of their money, who've done proper investments. I'm envious of working hard, and eventually you'll get yours. And perhaps with that being an illusion, maybe that's an illusion that you have to, work hard for your money. Maybe I'm envious. And that's true. I'm very envious of people who can save money. Like save it and not touch it. I'm really good at saving it, but then there's that sparkly thing I want. So there's some kind of envy about people, and this is true. People who are patient. This is patience as well. So that's true. I am envious of people who are patient, like the royal family. Never complain, never explain. I could never do that. So I should look at that. Now, before I continue, in case you have never seen this before, the ones with the major arcanas are the ones that are really lit up. And then we go to court cards. So that might be somebody else who's triggering that. And then we go to the minors. So this is a higher minor. So I'll see what the rest show. So under greed, let's see what's under greed. Oh my Lord, judgment. Whoops. Okay, that's all we're gonna do. No, okay. I just said that. So a major arcana has landed on greed, and that's e-commerce and communication. And this is second chances. And in some respects, this is so true. I wish you could see my background here, what I'm doing. I've got a couple of other businesses on the go. I'm trying to get another thing started, and perhaps I'm burning myself out. And this is also, judgment card is the karma card. And perhaps, just perhaps, I need to look at things from a second point of view. Or perhaps this is part of the consequences of starting too many things at once. I don't have the patience, so I start something else. So this one here is really lit up for me, and it really makes a lot of sense. I'm burning myself out. This is classic burnout, your karma on your greed. This is classic burnout. This doesn't mean I've done anything wrong. That's another thing I wanted to reiterate. This doesn't, when it does light up, it doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It just means where you need to correct. Unless you've really you've done something wrong. And as I explained in the other lesson, it's hurting other people. So with me overdoing the things, all the things, I'm only hurting myself. I'm only hurting myself. So this is easily correctable. I need to take a second look at everything, and maybe I need to pare it down to two things, right? Like for example, I have two YouTube channels. I have, I've got my magazine. I've got, I'm starting up two other businesses. Um, I do a little bit of coaching on the side. Perhaps I'm being too greedy. I'm being too greedy and I'm spreading myself too thin. And what I need to do is pare it down to two things. Perhaps just keep my two YouTube channels. And plus I do readings on the side. And my garden, and right, and so I'm being a little bit greedy with some of my businesses here. Um, okay, well, let's go to lust. Do I want to show you this? Nine of Cups. All right. I don't know if I want to do this publicly anymore. Okay, so Nine of Cups is wishes and a bit of a smugness. And this is under lust and with relationships. And I think that what this is telling me more is I do have a bit of smugness with my relationship. We've been married 40 years. I'll be 40 years here in a couple of months. We've been together 40 years. Actually, we've been together more than 40 years, but I looked at from the time we were engaged, it's been 40 years. And there's a certain amount of smugness. We've done well, and yeah, I don't know. That's kind of personal. I'll move on from that. Pride. Where's my pride? Oh, you know what? Here we have six of pentacles. I like one of the things that I know it's a bit of a weakness that I have is that I let people know what I do for other people, and there is a certain amount of spiritual blessings when you do things anonymously, right? So you don't say, "Oh, you're not gonna," "Oh, I bought their groceries for them." Like, one of the things I really enjoy doing is just sending. Some of the kids are really struggling, and so I just send them kind of like a grocery haul, but then I make sure people know about it. So maybe I'll do that more anonymously, and you can, check off a box, send anonymously. Um, I think they would still know it's me, but maybe that's something I have to work on. Is when I do some charitable work, make it more anonymous. not that it's bad. I mean, charitable work isn't bad. It's just maybe I shouldn't wrap myself into that so much. All right, Mars, wrath. Oh boy, do I got people to be wrath about. Yeah, there's a struggle. I struggle with revenge. I really do. I struggle with wanting to do revenge. Not that I don't know how to do revenge. I struggle with revenge. I struggle with wrath. You hurt me, and it takes me a long time to get over it, and I don't forget it. And one day, one place, somewhere, somehow, you'll know it's me. Anyways, it's a 5 though, so I'm getting better at that. I'm getting better at the snapback. All right, so gluttony. This one will be interesting. Oh, only 2. Look at that. The clock agrees. Um, I'm going to say that I've got 2 things that I'm gluttonous about, and I've and one distracts from the other. So that's not too bad. I thought that one would be a little bit, but a little bit bigger, but it's minor. So now let's look at sloth. And I've been having like zero energy lately, so this will be fun. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see it's the moon on there. I'm not surprised to see this at all. Like I said, I've been having zero um, energy lately. And so this is telling me I've been really lazy with my intuition, been really lazy with my writing. I've been really lazy with, oh, that's another thing. So so the high priestess is represents the moon, but when we read it on a card, we read it as the tarot card. I hope that doesn't confuse you. So we're not reading this as the moon on Saturn. We're reading this as what the high priestess represents as a tarot card. Um, Also, it's I feel like the life is draining out of me, and this is there's a tree of life here in the pomegranates behind the high priestess. Also, the high priestess represents mind, body, soul, because it has the 3 pillars. If you think that the high priestess herself makes a pillar, um, yeah, I've been kind of, one of the things here I've been kind of lazy about is with my teaching, and that's the high priestess is also a teacher of secrets. So what's the underlying here? Okay, well, I will have, the success that I'm looking for. So it looks like the 2 that I have no my major arcanas. So there's nobody here blocking, even though they can't. It would be like, oh, you're blaming them, right? Nobody can block your karma but you. So, if you can't say, oh, my husband won't let me or my children won't let me, no, you won't let you, because there's always a way. It's just, how much effort is it going to take? So when you see a court card show up, then you can say, oh, I'm blaming that person. So if it was the King of Cups, you say, oh, I'm blaming my husband. If it was the, Knight of Wands, you say, oh, I'm blaming my son, or I'm blaming, this young person at work. Um, so you would know that it's a blame game. But I don't have any court cards here, but I do have 2 major arcanas, and this is actually interesting that I'm burning myself out, and it shows me right here on the sloth is that what the burnout is doing is it's really playing with my mental health and my intuition and my writing and my teaching. So basically, it with this card on my sloth telling me I'm not doing this thing in a double message here, it's telling me what I'm here to do. I'm here to be a teacher of the arcane. I'm here to be a teacher of secrets. I'm here to shine, be a mirror to people. And I'm not doing that. This is sloth. I'm not doing that. So if I want to correct this karma, so if you look on my line, this karma is going down. If I want to correct this, I better do exactly what I'm doing right now. Spending time with you, teaching you these things, using, showing you how to use your intuition, showing you how to use the secrets. Get back to my writing. I haven't written my newsletter in a couple of weeks. Um, so get back to that. So this is telling me in a double way that for me to have success and know what I'm here to do, because this is sloth, this is things I'm not doing, this just kind of told me what my purpose is, what my life purpose is for the end of my life, because Saturn is, more so at the end of your life. Also, the magician or Mercury here, or greed, is telling me that. So greed and sloth. So greed mean it does see how it plays together. It shows that I'm doing too much, and by doing too much, I'm becoming lazy and actually missing the whole point of it all. And why am I doing all these things? Well, because I want to be successful. I want more money. I want. Um, just like any other normal person, really. And so I've got to pare it down to two things, and it has to have something to do with the high priestess. And then I have to look here at my relationships too. How smug am I? Um, am I doing some wishful thinking that they are as good as they are? Maybe they aren't. And if I clear these up, then I'm going to have actually the success that I'm craving. So that was kind of personal, but I wanted to show you how you can do this for yourself. So I think looking after some of these, the rest will just kind of fall into place because they're all just minor. All right. So again, if you had a court card, let's find a court card. Okay. So let's say the King of Wands showed up here. Now, it's not this person that is creating wrath. It's this person is blocking your wrath, or I guess that was kind of a bad one. Maybe this is the person you actually are mad at or want to do revenge on. This isn't necessarily the person that's creating that wrath. You're creating that wrath. If this person was here on the gluttony, then perhaps perhaps you're spending too much money on this person, perhaps you're spending too much time on this person, or this person is your big block to gluttony. Let's say you and your husband, you love to go out and eat and you're eating too much, so he's not making you be gluttonous, but he is your block to clearing up your gluttony. All right. So let's say he was on relationships, lust. Well, is this a person that you're lusting for, perhaps other than your partner? Are you lusting their lifestyle? Are you lusting wanting to be with them? Or, is this an ex you can't let go of? They aren't causing your karma, they're blocking your karma. So it's just telling you where you have to clean it up. So it's not like you have to go to them and say, I blame you for my karma on that. No, this is pointing a finger at where your block is and what you need to clean up. Okay, I want to be clear on that, because a lot of people, they think their karma is based on other people or what other people have done to them. You have no control how other people treat you. You only have 100% control on how you respond to what has happened to you. All right. The only time you don't is if they kill you. Then you have no control over that. your control is finished. But other than that, this is a way for you to figure out where your karma is steering you wrong, or your consequences are steering you wrong, and how to fix it. And so you can turn that boat around and have some grace. Give yourself some grace. I want you to think of this as a train or a boat. This isn't a little, sports car or motorbike. You just go the other way. This is something, remember I drew that line. It's inch, 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 inch. And then before you know it, this is also your law of attraction. Didn't see that coming. Aren't you glad you watched it right till the end? This is also your law of attraction. But that's for another lesson. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me, a lot of you are really enjoying these lessons. Let me know if you want me to continue, because I don't mind teaching you these at all. They're very simple lessons. There's no woo woo here or anything like that. There's no guru there. This is just real natural law. All right. Well, YouTube's going to show you a video you possibly haven't seen. Why don't you click on that? And I'll see you over there. Take good care. Bye for now.